Hi, welcome to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program, Target Individual Experience. All right. So I'm going to play you guys the video, which this video was done a few days ago, about almost 2 weeks ago. Okay. And, the big thing about the video is that because my niece, she came out of the bedroom in her underwear. Now the video again, what I paused the video as soon as she came out because I recognized that it was her. So I didn't want to record that because that wasn't what the purpose of the recording was. So she walked out into the video. It wasn't like you try to make it seem like I was purposely trying to record her in her underwear again. But this is what they do, right? They will manipulate things, and we see this within the media, how they take things out of context, how they try to push a certain agenda or what have you. So I already know all the talking points. You see, one thing about the white supremacists, and is that they've already exposed, a lot of what it is that they do. Okay, so a lot of things that that you'll see I talk about, you shouldn't be surprised. You should not be surprised at all. Anyhow, so this is again a retaliation because they know what's coming, right? Which is again exposing them on another level, right? Because these are things that they want to erase out of our memory, out of our minds, right? In terms of talking about how they continuously poison our neighborhoods, continuously poison us as people, wage, psychological warfare, wage environmental warfare, wage chemical warfare, wage sexual transmitted disease warfare, okay, wage and economic warfare. I can go on and on, educational warfare, the whole nine. Okay, I can go on and on. So it's no surprise. But they don't want these truths to be told, okay? Because they have, again, created technology which can manipulate our minds. And of course, many people don't believe it. There's plenty of documents out there. Go and read this angel, this angel doesn't play any harp or something like that. This harp, but anyways, by Nick Begich talks about the harp program, right? And then also another book that he wrote, which I can't remember the name of it, but it talks about the technology that they created to control human beings, to control our minds. Okay, and a lot of us don't want to recognize or even believe that because again, a lot of us would rather bury our head in the sand, right, pretending that nothing is wrong and nothing is going on. And so when people start speaking the truth, they'll start to label you. Again, this is nothing new, right? You go look up Dr. Peter Bergen. He talks about how they would basically kidnap black leaders, operate on them, right? Because these so-called psychiatrists, these so-called neurologists, neuroscientists, couldn't understand why black people and black leaders are protesting, because it shows you that they don't see us as human beings. How they don't see us as the fact that when you oppress people, that people will begin to rise up, and this is what they don't want. They don't want people to rise up, and what will help people to rise up is by knowing the truth, by exposing the lies that they continue to push and exposing the truth, and understanding how they have effectively, particularly within the black community, communities where black people live, they have waged all kinds of warfare. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of example of what I was going to, the video that I'm going to do. And I am going to do the video. So they can't prevent me from doing that. They may try, but they're not going to. Okay. And so I talk about, again, and it talks about, it's a study, right? One of the things that they try to say is that one of their talking points, right, is that particularly black children get asthma because they're black. This is one of their lies. This is one of their talking points. Okay. And as I'm talking, I'm moving my hands. As I open up my hands, there's a car honking again, the palm fixation drill. Because I keep talking about it, then you're not going to get anybody. You're gonna be lonely. And that's fine. I have no problem with that, because the truth to me is more important as opposed to what they're trying to offer. Because what they're trying to offer comes in the condition that I remain silent, and I refuse to do that. Okay. So anyhow, so the Princeton study dispelled the myth of being black is the cause of asthma amongst black children. Okay, again, this is what they were pushing, that the fact that black children, a large amount of black children who have asthma, have developed asthma, it was because they're black. Okay, and they don't like that. They don't like that. Okay, because again, it shows you how evil, maniacal these people are. and particularly when it comes to their treatment about us, amongst us as black people, this is what they do. So it says here the study, and let me this here, and I wish I can, the screen is going to be too small. I'm doing a screen recording. So the study used health data to show that low birth rate babies of all races that live in areas dominated by African Americans face the same elevated risk of asthma. The number don't lie, but they are hard to explain. Now, why are they hard to explain? Okay, again, whenever they do these studies, they'll tell you the truth, but then they'll act surprised about it. Then they know exactly what's going on. They know what they've done and what they continue to do, what these white racists continue to do, what the U.S. government continues to do to us as black people. They know this. Okay, so they try to always give themselves an out, like, oh, we didn't know this, we're surprised by this. No, we shouldn't be surprised by this. Okay, again, they'll lie and then they get us to believe their lies. Okay, so the numbers don't lie, but they're hard to explain. Black children are twice as likely as others to develop asthma. There was evidence that low birth rate was the culprit, but could being black be a risk factor in asthma, as some believe? Two scholars from Princeton University have concluded that it's not race, but living conditions. Okay? See, they always try to put it on us, whether it be whether it be our psychology, our biology, these things, right? Because again, trying to shift the blame for the things that they've done to cause these things. Okay? So anyway, two scholars from Princeton University have concluded that it's not race but living condition that accounts for the disparity. The data are compelling, all right. They show the effect of ongoing segregation, which trap African American children in poor neighborhoods surrounded by pollution. Okay, Jeanette M. Curry, PhD, professor of economics and public affairs at Princeton, and Diane Alexander, PhD, of the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, made this finding after examining New Jersey health data for low birth weight children of all races living in zip codes where more than half the population was African American. Now we know about New Jersey. You can drive through New Jersey, and particularly Jersey City coming into New York, you'll see all the refineries, all the stuff, all the smog, all that stuff, right? And within those surrounding areas, it's populated mostly by black people. Okay? So again, we have been conditioned to where we can't see the truth. I mean, we don't want to accept the truth because, again, it's our psychological conditioning. And so when people like me, who they try to experiment on, not just experiment on, but try to control, basically, to prevent me from, and I always take it back to when I was younger, in my 20s, I always had this mindset of starting my own business and even I was working in a certain industry, starting my own business. And whenever I said the word business, what have you, there'll always be police sirens. Okay, again, it never fails. This is how I know that whatever they were trying, whatever they're trying to do, whatever their agenda, they're trying to say, is all lies. Okay, because one thing that they will do is they will say you're this type of person, and they will condition you and make you into that type of person. Okay, that's what white supremacy does. They've done it to us as black people. We're hypersexual, we're dumb, we're this and that. So guess what you see? You see a lot of kids and adults lead poisoning. Okay, you'll see them building houses on top of toxic site, covering them up and selling it exclusively to black people. You see them poisoning 100,000 people in Flint, Michigan, right? And the list goes on and on. And so when they set up their, particular black Americans are fighting for reparation from slavery, but it's not just about slavery. It's about the ongoing and continued effort to undermine us as black people and to destroy us as a people and as a group and as individuals. So again, they know. So I always say, what is it what makes them send, with the video, right? Why they went to that specific video? And I'm gonna show you, the video is blurry. You can't barely see the person or even recognize the person, right? But it's to cause an argument to be like, well, you need to leave, or you need to go, or whatever, to cause you to move, right? Because you see, when they push their narrative, right, and you don't act according to their narrative because they can no longer manipulate you, they will find other ways and other things to do. right? So again, I'm not surprised by this. This is why I'm doing this video, because again, you know, in order, you have to understand what's being done, right? And you cannot be silenced, regardless of whatever they try to do, regardless of whatever they'll tell you, whatever they'll take away from you, what have you. Is you got to continue to speak the truth, because, like I said, this is more important than me. So they can call me crazy all they want. They can put all the labels on me. I don't care about that. But what I care about is that exposing the truth, so this doesn't happen to other people, particularly any other black person. Or if it did happen, they would know exactly what to do and how to combat it. Okay? Like I said, they can keep spreading their lies and their rumors, and I'll keep talking about the truth. That's all. Okay? So, and that's just, you know, and I like I said, this is a whole presentation I want to do. Okay? So now check this out. Children with low birth rate might be premature, which increase the risk of lung problems. The trigger for asthma comes from things found in aging neighborhoods with older building, mold, rodents, infestation, right? All these things contribute to asthma, because guess what? Rodents, they carry diseases. Cockroaches, they carry diseases. All these, you know what I'm saying? They'll talk about. Then on top of that, wait till I get into the other video in terms of using how they use rodents like rats, you know, bugs like bed bugs, roaches, all the other things to spread diseases within our community, right? So wait till I talk about that, because you see, we know through the technology using frequency, right, that they can actually control rodents, they can control insects. We see how they can control the direction of worms, right? Basically, you know, just guiding them. Okay, we know this. What I'm talking about is not sci-fi. You can go look it up. Okay, so again, so more rodent infestation or air pollution. Being around people who smoke also causes asthma, even if a baby mother does not smoke. According to the CDC, black men have much higher smoking rates, 20%, than the overall population. And the author finds that black women are more likely to smoke during pregnancy than white women. So why is it that black women in particular would be found more likely to smoke? Right? Again, this is, again, psychological conditioning, right? So we're going to do what they've conditioned us to do. Of course, we're acting out of our subconscious mindset. So we're going to do the dysfunctional thing, the destructive thing, to damage ourselves and our children. Okay? So the United States continue to be highly segregated, which is true. Again, they're all this trying to see this gentrification. Yeah, gentrifying, white people moving in, but guess what? Black residents are moving out. Okay, so it's still segregated, right? Curry said in a statement, with African American neighborhoods suffering higher poverty, lower average educational attainment, higher unemployment, higher exposure to pollution, and other ills. Okay? All right. June 9, 2020, children living in neighborhoods with higher population density, greater proportions of lower income household, and greater poverty had higher rates of asthma, according to a study led by Harvard T.H. Chang School of Public Health. In addition, the study found that black and Hispanic children were at significantly higher risk of developing asthma than white children, regardless of income level. Right? Now, let me ask you a question. I see I live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, right? We have Hasidic Jews, right? Ashkenazi Jews. How come their children don't suffer a high rate of asthma than our children do? Why is that? Right? I think we need to start to do some studies on that, right? Though we live within the same populated area and the same density, right? But their children don't suffer higher asthma rates or the same asthma rate as our children do. Something to think about. So anyhow, that's just to give you guys a thing that, you know, just a little bit of read, and just to show you guys what it is that they don't want me to talk about. And this is exactly what it is. When I start to do these types of videos to expose them for what it is that they're doing. Because guess what? There's no one that's really out there in the news media, whether it be black news media or white news media or any kind of is speaking about this. Okay? And why? Because they have been conditioned to not think about those things. And because I know that is why I continue to speak about those things. Though they may try to censor me, silence me in many ways, but I'm still speaking about it. And the final threat is to threaten to take down my, destroy my computer equipment. For you heard from, I'm not sure if I was recording it when she said that, but that's what happens, right? Again, instead of trying to, listen and understand, they're hell bent on trying to destroy your effort. It's like, again, and I'm gonna say this: if you're a young black person who wants to start a business, do not get your family members involved. Find someone who can mentor you in, and I wish I had these advice when I was younger. Find someone who runs a business that not the business that you want to run, because remember, black people, we will destroy your business just because we want our business to stand, right? Not understanding that, guess what, both businesses could stand. There are many white people have the same business, right, and they're still in business, okay, because they support each other. They know that there's enough of them going around that so they can have their own business. Kind of like mechanic shops, right? Particularly in the black community, you see a lot of mechanic shops, a lot of barber shops, okay. But again, most of them will try to discourage you from creating the same kind of business that you want to build. So find yourself a mentor who has a business, not a business that you want to create, and who will mentor you in terms of business strategy and stuff like that. Like I said, I wish I had somebody who would have, who I could have went to when I was younger. All right. But the point I'm trying to make is that for the vast majority of us, they don't want us to have that business mindset, the builder's mindset, the producer mindset, the protector mindset, right? This is what they're trying to take away from us as men, particularly black men. Okay. So, and they know this, they understand this, but like I said, this is why I do what I do. Okay. So yeah, I may look crazy to some people, but that's fine. Labels don't really doesn't really bother me. I never value people's opinion of me, particularly if it's negative, particularly if they're not doing anything for me. Particularly if they're not trying to say, okay, you know what, Nigel, you did this the wrong way. Let's talk about this. Let's see how we can help you do it the right way. No, it's none of that, right? But again, I understand why. Okay, so let me just read this one slide, and then I'll continue on and play the video so you guys can see. So it says, lead author Antonia Zanobetti, principal research scientist in the Department of Environmental Health, said in May 24, 2022, Helio article that the researchers were surprised that even after considering both neighborhoods' characteristics and an individual risk factor for asthma, such as having a parent with asthma, black and Hispanic children still face greater risk of the disease compared to white children. The researchers suggest that structural factors including racism, discrimination, discriminatory policies, education, the physical environment, and access to healthcare may be playing a role in the disparities. Zanobetti lists some action that doctors and other stakeholders could take to improve care, such as helping vulnerable patients identify risk factor for asthma. Again, if that was the case, then black people, we all have to move out of our neighborhoods. Okay? Describing changes in housing. See? Describing changes in housing or advocate for neighborhood improvement. See, they will tell you, oh, you leave, but they will never do anything to improve the neighborhood, to get rid of the toxic environment, things within the environment that are toxic. They will never do that. Okay? Because why? Because by doing that, future generation will have an improvement within their health, their minds, right? Because the one thing they try to take away from us, they always say black people are dumb. So guess what? We're going to make them dumb. I would say they always do these things to individuals, and then guess what? There's an agenda. And so when they execute their agenda, and the rest of the world are going to look at it and have no sympathy for us as black people. I understand the way how they think. This is how they think, right? So she added, our results really emphasize that solving health inequities require not just individual level change in practice, but just, again, they are always talking about what we should do, what we can do, but never about what they should do and what they should not do. Okay. But large scale population level change. Again, so we're in the expert. Again, if you go, just like when you go and read the Kerner Commission report, the 1965 or something like that, I can't remember exact year, okay, where it clearly states what the problem is. And what did the U.S. government do? Ignore the report and put the blame on black people. Because the report says that it is white people that are the cause of the issue that's affecting black people negatively in this country. Okay? So anyhow, let me play the video. So the video was
all right, so come out going into the kitchen.
I was talking about how every time I get in the middle of the night, my nephew's daughter would get up wherever she's at in the living room, what have you, and she'll come walking in the hallway back and forth. Right? And I've been observing this, and I've been observing it, and finally I said, you know what? I'm going to record this. Okay, just because I've been talking about it, but again, when no one wants to believe you, I have to show it, right? And again, this is what I do, right? So that particular night, I came out of my bedroom into the kitchen. She came out of the living room. So I said, okay, I got to record it. I went back in and got my phone, and I came back into the kitchen. And sure enough, she came back into the hallway, and you guys will see her standing there. Okay?
All that stuff all over the place. Again, these are not my stuff. This is their stuff. Okay? That's to tell you again how they've been conditioned. So here she is. Here she is.
She's standing there.
Okay, she is coming out of the living room again, standing in the hallway. All right? And I knew she would come out. I just turned around because again, like clockwork. Okay. All right. There's my niece's son running. I go and I just to see what they're going to do. All right. So they say I stand there because of course she's going to come. Right. She goes into open the bedroom door, runs away. Then she's gonna come back. She's gonna come back. She's gonna come back. You can see her there.
Then she comes back.
Right. Now I want you guys to pay attention. You'll see she touch her nose, and then my grandnephew come out with the hand signal